One of my favorite websites is called nutritiondata.self.com. It's a great place to investigate the nutritional content of the foods that are available in the world. And you can search just about anything that people eat and see what kind of nutrition is in it. And one thing I learned recently is that just about every animal, well, actually every animal product, dairy, whether it's dairy or beef or lamb or chicken or shellfish or any kind of animal product, they're pretty high in sodium. And if you're trying to cut back on your sodium, just becoming a vegan will help a lot. And when you do that, you don't need to worry quite as much. When you become a vegan, you don't need to worry quite as much as you would if you're a meat eater, because of that fact. If you're trying to lower your blood pressure, you do want to watch your sodium, but it is possible to get too little sodium. So about half a teaspoon per day is what they medically consider to be appropriate, and that's easy enough to do in a vegan diet. And it helps your food be tasty and have palatability. And today's recipe does call for some sodium, but I want you to understand that there's a couple of factors here that make this okay. One of them is that this is not going to be a daily diet of something you're going to eat, nothing but these pickles. The second is that most of the sodium, most of the salt that is in this recipe is going to be in the brine, and very little of it actually ends up in the cucumber. So keep those two things in mind. So here's the recipe. I wanted to point out these cucumbers that I'm going to be using today. These are what's called an Armenian cucumber. They're a pale green like this, and the skin is very, very tender. It's the closest thing to it being skinless as I could ever imagine. And you don't need to peel these if you're eating them fresh in a salad or something like that. You can just slice them, toss them in your salad just as they are. They're very tender and delicious. I'm going to be using these because I just enjoy eating them. They have a wonderful flavor. The seeds are tender. You don't have that hard, uncomfortable seed to deal with. So I'm going to be using these, and this is how it works. Now for this recipe, I like using this little slicer. You can get these still at hardware stores, some hardware stores. I think it's called a Finster's slicer, or you can get a regular food processor. One thing I like about this is you can adjust how thick or how thin you slice. And for this recipe, you want a very thin slice. Let's see, about maybe like that, the first notch or second notch. This is the first notch right here, and I'm going to try that. With the thinner slice, you're going to have quicker recipe. They're going to marinate quicker. I'm going to make it just a little bit thicker here. Now as I come to the crooked part, I'm kind of cutting with it angled like this so that I'll be able to work my way around the curve. And you can do this way. One thing I like to do with this recipe is I love using these in a potato salad. I put in fresh bell peppers and these and some steamed cut up potatoes. I use the little white potatoes or the red ones, and I steam them for about 20 minutes. And then I put these cucumbers in it with some of the mock mayonnaise recipe that we have the video of, with a little bit of extra dill and maybe some paprika. And it makes a wonderful little potato salad. Okay, we got our cucumbers. Now what we need to go on that is half a cup of water, and about a tablespoon, maybe a little more of dill. You want enough so that you get that good dill flavor. And this is a good sized cucumber, so I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of salt. Now this is a kosher salt that I like to get. I don't know if you can see that. I buy this brand. There are several good brands. I like using this one because it's less expensive than some of the other brands that I like to use for seasoning the food. And this salt, if you buy regular table salt, if you read the label, you will find that most table salt has sugar in it or some anti-caking agency. They put all kinds of strange stuff in them. So we have our dill, our cucumber, our salt, our half a cup of water. Now at this point, this is lemon juice. This is organic, some that I got at Costco. And you're going to put enough lemon in there to just barely cover your cucumber. And you take your spoon. You want to make sure that you have enough lemon juice. These will kind of sink down into the liquid as they marinate. Now that looks like enough. I'm going to shake it up to get the dill thoroughly incorporated. Now if you wanted to, you could throw in a few cloves of garlic if that's the kind of thing you like in your cucumbers. John doesn't like to have garlic breath when he works, so I don't put garlic in the cucumbers. He likes his potato salad without it. Now the only thing left to do is to put this in the refrigerator, and by tomorrow it'll be ready. I've had some of these keep as long as 2 or 3 weeks in the refrigerator, and like I said, they're really good in potato salad with our mock mayonnaise dressing on that with some extra dill and maybe a little parsley and paprika, the mild paprika, and thought you'd enjoy that. Tomorrow I'll show you how they look. These are perfect for a salad like a potato salad or a sandwich. Anywhere you'd use a regular pickle, but without the vinegar that is so poisonous to you.